Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Facebook. Happy Tuesday. Good Tuesday to everyone. All right, I think I'm live. I was having some technical difficulties with my computer, but I think it's working. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm on. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. It is now 4:02, and I have some information I want to share with you today, a special topic. Okay, so if you're not on live and you're watching the replay, just let me know that you watched the replay and comment with any takeaways you had from this video, and I'll be sure to reply back to you. Okay, so thank y'all so much for being here. So I do want to go ahead and get started. Okay, so those of you, of course, on this page know that I am the teen choice coach, and I help teenagers and I help parents of teenagers. And I offer private coaching, whether that's virtual or face-to-face. I also offer group coaching, whether that's in person with a workshop or if that's face-to-face as well. Hey, Thomas, thank you for joining. And then I do speaking engagements and, like I said, also workshops or keynote presentations. And so in my group coaching program, I have something called TALL concept, TALL, and that is for parents. And it's 4 things I like for them to analyze to be sure they're being a good parent to a teenager. And one of the L's there is lack of support. A lot of teenagers that I've talked to feel like they have not enough support. Now, this can be unwarranted, or it could be true or totally untrue, but that perception for that teenager is their reality. If they feel like they don't have the support they need, then they begin to act out in response to that. And so this reminded me, or an incident that happened reminded me of this concept. And I don't know if you watch the news. I'm not really big into the news. It's pretty negative most of the time. And I don't know if you're into sports, which I'm not that much into sports, but I do like football just a little bit. But there was this story that surfaced last week about Jacob Copeland. And so if you know football or you watch the news, then you've seen this story about how he's a high school football player who had the option to go to 3 different colleges. Okay, so a pretty awesome guy, or at least a good football player, but had the chance to go to 3 different colleges. And at his signing day, where we had him, his family, his mom, his coaches, teachers there around him to support him, he made the decision to go to a school that his mom apparently did not agree with. Okay, she was more approving of him going to one of the other 2 options than the one he chose. And so in response to that, once he made his decision verbally, she got up and walked away from the table on national TV. And so this has been all over Facebook. I'm on Facebook way more than I should be. And it's been on the radio and it's been on TV. And so a lot of people have been talking junk basically about this mom. And we don't know the full story. You know, there's his side, there's her side, and then there's the truth. But what I do know is that she embarrassed him on national TV, and she appeared to be an unsupportive parent, at least at that moment. And this is what you do not want to do to your children, especially to your teenagers, because it can have a lasting impact on their future, okay? And so you want to be a supportive parent, and that means being encouraging, particularly emotionally. Of course, support can be financial as well, or physical support, whatever they need, but this support that I'm talking about is emotional, being there for them emotionally, letting them lean on you and holding them up emotionally so they can make it through these teenage years and make it successfully as an adult, okay? So as I mentioned before, that a lot of teens feel that they have this lack of support, and their feelings are not wrong. I don't believe that feelings are wrong. I believe behaviors are wrong. So what they do in reaction to how they feel may not be a good thing, but you need to take note of their feelings, name those feelings, and acknowledge and respect those feelings if they feel that you're not being a supportive parent. Now, they probably won't tell you this, but I've worked with many, many teenagers, and when I ask them about a difficult situation, I say, can you tell your parents, or did you tell your parents? And 9 times out of 10, the response is no. They don't care, or they don't understand. So if it's something you really don't care about that your teenager is talking about, act like you care, okay? Because they'll remember that feeling for a long time. And I had a friend in college who would always say, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And people will remember how you made them feel, not so much what you said or what you did, but how you made them feel. So in your household, you want your team to feel supported, okay? Now, something that will affect this is your own childhood. The lack of support you had as a child will affect how you support your children now, but you have the ability to change that, okay? The child that you have or children, they're your responsibility and they've been given to you for a reason. And so no matter what you've been through, emotionally or physically, it's your job to support your teenager now, and not just physical, but also emotionally, okay? So your childhood and how you were supported or not supported will affect your parenting style now, but you want to make it better for your team and better for your children. Now, a lot of times parents don't, give the support they need to their teenagers because their expectations are not being met. So let's say you expected your child to go to Carolina, but they decided to go to state. Well, that's the reality, and you may be disappointed, but it's still your job to support them in that decision because it's still a good school. They're still going to college, so you need to be supportive. Or let's say you wanted your child to work at Burger King, but they decided to work at McDonald's. You are responsible for being supportive of their decisions, okay? And I know you're thinking, oh, I know best, and this is what they need to do. They don't care if you know best or what you're thinking. They're concerned about how they feel at the moment, and they need you to support that decision if it's not dangerous. And so I'll give you just a few examples before I go. But I remember growing up, my dad was very supportive of my decisions, and my mom was supportive as well. And then, of course, my aunts and my uncles were supportive of the things that I decided to do or not do. And so even in high school, I had a boyfriend for almost 2 years. I had one before then, too, before high school. So if you're one of those parents who don't let your kids date until they're 16, they probably already are dating if they're in middle school or high school. So just let you know to watch out. But anyhow, I had a boyfriend in high school for almost 2 years, and I ended up breaking up with him, after that time period or, within those 2 years. And when we broke up, my dad said, I knew it wasn't going to work out. I knew he wasn't the one. And I'm like, Dad, why didn't you tell me? You let me waste my high school years with this guy and you knew he wasn't the one. But he knew that I was going to see that, and he knew what he had taught me, and he knew how important it was to support me in my decisions, to give me that confidence and freedom so that when it came to bigger decisions later in life, I would have the confidence to make a wise decision. And the same thing in high school, before high school, I started taking dance, and I did tap dance and hip hop and ballet came later. And that was my dream and my passion, was to win a gold medal in a ballet routine at dance competition that we would go to every year. And so my dad, he's real buff and athletic and tough kind of guy, but every day after school and after work, every weekend for a few months, he would sit and watch me practice my ballet routine. Okay, he would press play and press stop and press pause on my little CD player and watch me and critique me and cheer for me as I practiced this ballet routine in the living room. And so he supported me, but I'm sure he did not care about ballet and ballerinas and stuff. But his support was so important that I decided I wanted to major in dance in college. So my dad and my aunts drove me to dance audition, sat there, waited for it, and supported me throughout that decision. And I clearly am not, a dance teacher now, but just the support I had through that gave me the confidence I needed to go for other things, to go for my dreams, even owning my own coaching business. And so that support from my parents and my aunts went a long way. And so you want to be mindful of that as you're raising your teenagers. Be supportive of what they're trying to do, even if it's not what you expected or not what you wanted them to do. Okay. And when it doesn't work out, if they know they have your support, they'll come back to you to find out the advice that you wanted to give them in the first place. Okay. And this will go even transpire into marriage as well. When I wanted to get married, my dad was very supportive of that decision also. So another thing I want to discuss before I go is that sometimes parents I work with feel like their child is doing something to get back at them, and so that's why they're not supporting it. For example, my child, is going to NC State because they're mad at me and they don't like me, and I told them to go to Carolina, or those type of things. But 9 times out of 10, the child is not trying to offend the parent. They're concerned about their feelings and their wisdom at the moment and what they want to do. Okay. So even families that have tremendous conflict that I've dealt with, it's not in an offense to the parent that they're making these decisions about sports or work or school or military or relationships and boyfriends and friends and what they eat and all these different things, the kind of car they drive. The decisions that they make are not to be offensive to their parents or to get back at them. Okay. These are decisions they're making because that's what they feel is right at the moment. And like I said, their feelings are not wrong. Maybe the behaviors are wrong, but feelings are not wrong. And so it is your job as a parent to be supportive and be encouraging and be there for them when they make these decisions, to listen to them and support them so that when the next decision comes, they'll be able to come to you for that wisdom and advice and guidance. Okay. And so the main thing you need to do is just tell them you're available. Okay. Let them know you're available. I had a student, a guy that I talked to, he was in the 12th grade, and I just called him to talk to him, let him know, hey, if you want to talk about the military, you want to talk about college, you want to talk about basketball, whatever you need, I'm here for you. Come find me and we can talk. And 2 days later, he came to me to tell me about some situation with a girl and girl problems and some situation about his car and all these different things. And when he got done, I said, what do you want me to do? Because you're wrong in this situation, but I'm glad that you came to me. And his response was, I don't want you to do anything. I just needed to tell somebody. I just needed somebody to listen. Okay. And so having that support, being that listening ear, being that encouraging parent, teacher, auntie, cousin, whatever it is to these teenagers will impact their lives tremendously in the long run. Okay. So think about that this week. Think about ways that you can be supportive to those teenagers around you. Just listen to them, encouraging them, even if their decisions are not what you expected and what you wanted. Okay. So thank you so much for listening. I see a couple other people have joined me. So thank you for listening and watching. If you're watching the replay, just comment. Let me know you watched the replay. Let me know what you think about the Jacob Copeland situation and different ways that you will support those teenagers around you. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening, and I will be back here at the Coach's Corner next Tuesday, same time. All right. Talk to you later.